Many high performing women are still trying to earn love from someone who emotionally withdrew years ago. They just don't realize it. They may not consciously remember the moment. There may not have been a dramatic rupture, but there was a shift, a withdrawal, a criticism, an inconsistency, a condition placed upon affection, and the body registered it. When connection feels uncertain in early life, the nervous system does not philosophize, it adapts. Because for a child, attachment is survival. If love feels stable, the system relaxes. If love feels conditional, the system mobilizes. Performance becomes strategy. Competence becomes insurance. Overachievement becomes protection. This is what I call the good girl contract. It's not written down, it's encoded. If I achieve, I stay connected. If I'm useful, I am valued. If I'm impressive, I'm safe. And here is the quiet tragedy. The strategy works. Teachers praise it. Parents reinforce it. Workplaces reward it. So the adaptation becomes identity. Driven, reliable, responsible, high capacity. But inside, the nervous system never fully rests. Because if love was conditional once, it can become conditional again. So success never feels like arrival. It feels like maintenance. This is where many high achieving women become confused. They say, I have everything I worked for. Why do I still feel unsettled? Because the body is not chasing success, it is chasing safety. Let us look at this clinically for a moment. In psychology, we might describe this pattern as perfectionism, anxious attachment, overfunctioning, or even high tray conscientiousness. Those labels describe behavior. They do not describe origin. From a nervous system perspective, this pattern begins with relational threat. When a caregiver becomes emotionally inconsistent, even subtly inconsistent, the child's stress response activates. The sympathetic nervous system increases vigilance, cortisol rises, attention narrows, the mind scans for what restores proximity, what behavior secures connection, and when achievement restores approval, the body learns. Do that again. Repeat, optimize. Over time, this becomes automatic. The adult woman no longer consciously thinks, I must earn love, but her system still behaves as if love is conditional. This is why rest feels unsafe. This is why saying no feels destabilizing. And this is why being average in any domain feels threatening. It's not ego, it is attachment memory. And attachment memory lives in the body. Now, let us take this into adult relationships. How often does a high achieving woman overfunction in partnership? She anticipates needs. She manages the logistics. She holds the emotional space, and she rarely asks for reassurance directly because direct need once felt risky. So instead, she performs value. But here is the cost. If connection is maintained through performance, authentic vulnerability becomes difficult. You cannot relax into being loved if part of you believes you must remain impressive. And this is where quiet exhaustion begins. Not burnout from workload, burnout from vigilance, from always monitoring, from always ensuring you remain indispensable. Many women I work with describe a moment in adulthood when their performance is no longer required in the same way. Children grow up, careers stabilize, external pressure reduces, and suddenly there is space. That space can feel very destabilizing because if I'm not performing, who am I? Who is my identity? If I'm not earning love, is love still there? That question alone reveals the contract. Now, I want to clarify something important. Ambition is not pathology, drive is not dysfunction, and capacity is not trauma. The issue is not achievement. The issue is the nervous system state driving achievement. When achievement is expression, it energizes. When achievement is protection, it exhausts. That distinction changes everything. So let's talk about regulation. When attachment becomes secure, whether that's through therapy, relational repair, or nervous system recalibration, something really subtle shifts. The body no longer scans constantly for approval, and boundaries feel less dangerous. Feedback does not feel like abandonment, and rest does not trigger panic. Achievement becomes a choice rather than compulsion. Now, that's not a personality change, it's a safety change. The woman did not become less capable, she became less threatened. So, if you're a high performing woman who feels inexplicably empty after success, pause. Ask yourself, who am I still trying to convince that I'm worthy? And what would happen if connection did not require excellence? Because excellence born from fear is fragile. Excellence born from alignment is sustainable. This is why I do not describe women as perfectionists anymore. I describe them as patterned. And patterns formed in response to threat can be updated when safety increases. You are not too much. You are not never enough. You adapted, and adaptation can evolve. In the next episode, we're going to look at a diagnosis that has long been described as fixed and ask whether it is actually frozen attachment trauma. Until then, consider this. If you feel abandoned inside despite being admired outside, the issue is not your capability. It's the contract your nervous system signed years ago, and contracts can be rewritten.